4. And it's dealing with absolute value equations. Does anybody know what absolute value is? Or anything about it? Okay. And what does it represent? Go ahead. Good. On a number line. So if it's talking about how far something is away, for example, the distance between me and Levi, could it ever be a negative distance?
No.
No. So absolute value can never be negative, right? So what's the absolute value of 2? Absolute value of negative 2? Still 2. Does everybody understand? Okay, so with absolute value equations, there are 5 steps. The first one is to get the absolute value by itself on one side of the equal sign. We're going to do that first with number 1. So, actually, number 1's already done. But what I mean by absolute value by itself, here's the absolute value, right? Is there anything being added to it, like plus something over here?
No.
Nothing being subtracted from it, correct? Nothing being multiplied or divided. So step 1 for number 1 is already done. Okay, number 2, step 2, if the other side of the equal sign is negative, example, absolute value of x equals negative 3, the answer is no solution. Anybody know why? Can't ever.
Can't be negative.
Good, can't be negative. And you can put that right there. Absolute value, sure, is never negative. So if you do step 1 and you have it equal to a negative number, you can stop and just put no solution, because we know it can't be true. Alright, step 3, if it's not negative, so example like 9 right here is not negative, we set up 2 cases every time. Case 1 is going to be the original equation, so I'm going to write that over here. Case 1 is just going to be, and I'm going to swap these, so absolute value of d plus 5 equals 9. And case 2, all you're going to do is make everything on the other side of the equal sign that's not the absolute value negative. So it would be d plus 5 equals negative 9. And then for step 4, we just take the equation out of the bars and then solve for the letter in both cases. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll have d plus 5 equals 9. And how do you solve for this one? So d equals 4. Good. That's the answer for case 1. Alright, for case 2, same thing. We're going to do what? And then, good. So d equals, very good. Alright, and then step 5, always have to check your solutions for these, because there will be what we call extraneous solutions, where we'll get a solution, but one of these really might not work when we plug it back in the original equation. So let's just check them. And this first one, I'm going to write it out, but when you check it, you don't have to write it out. You can just do it in your head, if you can do that. So if we plug 4 back in right here, we'll get absolute value of 4 plus 5 equals 9. So 4 plus 5 gives us absolute value of 9? Good, so this one works. This one's absolute value of negative 14 plus 5 equals 9. And what's negative 14 plus 5? What's the absolute value of negative 9? So both of these work. And that's it. So you can leave your answers circled like this on the homework quiz on Friday, or you can write it like this. Negative 14, 4 as your solution. Okay. Any questions on that one? Alright, next one. For step 1, we have to get the absolute value by itself. Is it by itself right now?
No.
It's got a what? So how do we get rid of it? We don't want to distribute it, because then we're not getting the absolute value by itself. You know, we're changing it if we distribute the 3. So how do we get it by itself?
It's multiplied.
It's being multiplied by this, so we would do the opposite and divide. So what would we get on the left side? The 3 divided by 3 would cancel out to what? 1, right? So the 2a minus 4 is by itself. What's 0 divided by 3? 0. Very good. And now we set up our 2 cases, right? Alright, question. For case 2, the only difference is what between case 1? The only difference between case 1 and case 2 here is that you make this side negative for case 2, right? Can there be negative 0? No. So we'll only have one case, right? So we take it out, 2a minus 4 equals 0, and then we add 4, so we get 2a equals, and then, so a equals 2. Very good. And now we just have to check it to make sure it works. So on this side we have, and by the way, when you check it, you always want to plug it back into the original, not into case 1 or case 2, okay? So let's plug it back into the original. So we would have 3 times 2 times 2 minus 4 equals 0. So 2 times 2 is minus 4. What's the absolute value of 0? 0. And 3 times 0 equals 0, right? So we're good. How we feel about these?
Wait, how'd you get 0? Yeah. So you found the 1 and
The absolute
2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. And then the absolute value of 0 is 0. Pretty easy? Yes? Alright, we're going to do 2 more, then you're going to do 2 on your own. So pick which 2 you want to do together. 4 and 5? Okay. That'll be fine. So on number 4, is the absolute value by itself?
Yes.
Yes. There's nothing being multiplied, divided, added, or subtracted, correct? So what do we do from here? Case 1 and case 2, correct? Tell me what case 1 would be. Good. So I'm going to swap these because I always want my absolute value to be on the left side for some reason. So 6y plus 25 equals negative 3y minus 2. What changes for case 2?
Negative.
Okay, so does this side change? Nope. Absolute value 6y plus 25 equals, good, 3y plus 2. All you do is change the signs. Very good.
you make everything? Oh.
Alright, so now we can take them out of the bars and solve them. Equals. And let's start with case 1. What do y'all want to move first?
25.
25? Okay, so subtracting 25 from both sides would give us 6y equals what? Negative 3y. Negative 27. Good. What do we have to move now? 3y. So what do we get on this side, the left side? 9y equals,
Oh, wow.
and so y equals,
Negative.
very good, Mackie. Alright, questions about case 1? Again, does it matter, like this step right here, what we move? No, you'll get the same thing if you do it correctly. Alright, so case 2, 6y plus 25 equals 3y plus 2. Alright, Jarius, what do you want to move first? 2? Okay, we can do that. So we get 6y plus 23. Good, we're subtracting. Equals 3y. And now we have to move the,
6y.
has to be the 6y, because this is our constant. So we have to move this away from it, now that it's by itself. So we get 23 equals what?
Negative 3y.
And so y would be a decimal, correct? Let's just leave it as, well, we can turn it into a decimal if you want to. What's 23 divided by negative 3?
Negative 7.66.
Okay. There we go. And now we just need to check both of them. And what problem do we plug it into then?
The original.
The original. Good. So we have, let's check -3 first. So I'm going to come up here. We have, let me check it right here. -3 times -3 minus 2 equals absolute value of 6 times -3 plus 25. Alright, let's start with this side. -3 times -3? 9. Minus 2? Alright, so I have 7 on this side. Right here, 6 times -3 plus 25. Good. And absolute value of 7 does equal 7, correct? So this one's good. And I'll check this one down here.
On the test, so we're gonna have to show all this.
If you can do it in your head, you don't have to. Minus 2 equals 6 -7.66 plus 25. Oop, I'm running out of room. Alright, what's -3 times this -7.66 repeating?
22.9.
Alright, let me make sure. Alright, mine rounded. If you don't round it, it should round to 23. What'd you say you got, Mackie?
22.9.
Yeah, let's go ahead and round that to 23. So 23 minus 2 gives us what? 21. Now let's check this side. So,
Round any decimal point, good enough.
yes. So 6 times -7.666667. That'd give us like -46. What's -46 plus 25?
19.
-21. And absolute value -21 is what? 21. So they both work. Very good. Yes. -7 right here. Did you like round it or? Let me see. Ouch. Okay. Any questions on that one? Alright, last one together is going to be number 5. Alright, the absolute value is obviously not by itself. What do we need to get rid of first? The 8. Very good. Or we could do the 2 first. Okay, but if we do the 2 first, what are we dividing by? Everything? Okay, we can do that first. That's fine. So what would we have then?
3x minus 2.
Mm-mm.
4.
Good. That's why it might mess you up if you don't do that. But this 2 is 2 divided by 2, right?
Yes.
So that'll be 1 times all of this. So this would be what? Plus 4 equals 3. Very good. Any questions on that step? What next? Minus 4. Good. Got to get rid of it. So we have 3x minus 4 equals -1. Okay. What next? Do we have to?
Oh, no, it's no solution.
Correct. Why is it no solution?
-1.
Good.
Anti-negative.
And nothing that we put in this absolute value could ever give us a negative number, correct? So it'd be no solution. You can put this, that means no solution, or you can just write out no solution. Questions on that one? Alright, you are doing 3 and 6 on your own, and then I'll call 2 people to come work it out.